Now, there are close to nearly about 97,000 people who have been affected due to the novel coronavirus infection. The epidemic has led to a loss of nearly about 3,300 lives as of today. Now, China, in the last 24 hours, has reported 143 new cases. The virus hit Hubei province, excluding Wuhan, has reported 0 cases in the last 24 hours. The Chinese experts have claimed that the surge in the death toll might actually drop to 0 by the end of this month, while the epicenter of the virus is reporting fewer and fewer cases every day. There is panic and fear that has disrupted the lives of people. Now, the epidemic at this point of time is showing no signs of slowing down in the rest of the world. The United States has now reported one more death in the state of Washington, taking the death toll to 12. The cases in New York City have doubled to 22 in a span of just 24 hours. The U.S. Congress has announced an emergency fund of $8.3 billion to combat the novel coronavirus. And also giant tech firms such as Google, Amazon, Facebook and Microsoft have ordered their Seattle employees to work from home. Now, Italy has become one of the worst affected nations outside of China. The Italian health officials have confirmed 41 more deaths, taking the death toll in Italy to 148 due to the novel coronavirus. Meanwhile, there are cases that are being confirmed in Germany, and these have leapt up to 349 as 15 German states have now come under the virus's radar. The United Kingdom and Switzerland have also recorded their first deaths. Prime Minister Boris Johnson, after getting Brexit done, who's been busy with other things, has now come forward and said that the United Kingdom is still in the virus containment phase.
There's been a change of advice on Italy, I believe, but basically we're saying wash your hands and business as usual. We're still in the contain phase. Obviously, we're looking at the preparations we need to make now for delay.
Meanwhile, South Africa and Bhutan have also reported their very first cases of the novel coronavirus. The Dominican Republic has confirmed its second case of the novel coronavirus infection. And there are fresh cases that continue to erupt across the globe. Pakistan, for instance, has now reported its 6th case of the novel coronavirus infection. The 69-year-old had a travel history of visiting Iran and had just returned to Pakistan last week. And one of the other hotbeds of the novel coronavirus infections has been South Korea, which remains one of the worst affected nations outside of China. The country has confirmed about 196 cases of fresh infections, with at least 42 deaths having been reported so far. South Korea has more than 6,000 people who have been infected due to the novel coronavirus. Nearly about 99 countries around the world have restricted the entry of anyone coming in from South Korea. Now, Australia has ordered one of its schools to shut down after a 16-year-old student tested positive for the novel coronavirus. Now, other students and staff members have been advised to stay at home and self-isolate themselves for a few days. Now, Australia has confirmed more than 60 infected cases, and 2 elderly people have already died amidst the outbreak, while most of the people have contracted the disease overseas before returning home. Just yesterday, Australia recorded its first local transmission of the virus. Now, the coronavirus, of course, continues to target its victims from people, education, Hollywood, box office, sporting events, and now even to parliamentary sessions. Believe it or not, the European parliamentary session, which was scheduled to take place in the French city of Strasbourg, will now take place in Brussels. Belgium has also reported nearly about 23 cases of the novel coronavirus infections. Now, amidst the panic and fear, the World Health Organization has called for a clear-minded determination to fight the viral infections. The Director General, Tedros, has also blamed many countries for not having taken the epidemic seriously. Listen in.
We are concerned that some countries have either not taken this seriously enough or have decided there is nothing they can do. We're concerned that in some countries, the level of political commitment and the actions that demonstrate that commitment do not match the level of the threat we all face. This is not a drill. This is not the time to give up. This is not a time for excuses. This is a time for pulling out all the stops.